At this point in this set of videos, you have installed the server, you have access to it through the command line. You've actually, if you're on a Windows machine, you've created a batch file that allows you to quickly enter it. And now I'm going to show you how to navigate the command line. All right, there's a couple little tips and tricks that'll save you a lot of time if you know about them. Now again, today's purpose, this video's purpose is not to teach you any SQL commands. I know I keep teasing, eventually we'll get to the commands. Trust me, the entire semester is all about learning the commands. But for now, we need to understand our tools, right? And so our biggest tool here is the actual command line interface. We need to know how to navigate it. So I am going to give you a couple of queries on the, or a couple of commands here. I'm going to type here on the screen in just a minute. This is not me teaching you the commands, all right? We will learn what these commands mean another time, but I want to just show you the commands so we have something to play around with in the command line, okay? So this is the first command that we're going to do, which is, here we go. It's pretty much the only command we're going to look at today. Select star from city. Select star from city. All right. So this is just going to return all the records and all the fields from the city table in the world database. Again, if you don't have the world database, that's okay. You don't even have to type what I'm typing. It's just I want you to see sort of how this works. All right. So we're going to go ahead and open up the database by using our batch file for Windows people, and for Mac users, you have to go through the process of changing directory and running the MySQL file. So here we go, MySQL, and now I am in the database here. All right. Okay, let's look at that command again. We're going to type select star from city. First, though, we need to be in the world database, which is what has that city table. So use world, and then we're going to show the tables, and we have the city table. All right, we want to select star from city. Don't forget the semicolon, right? That shows me all of the records in the city table, and there's going to be a whole bunch of them because it's basically probably every city in the looks like more than just the United States. I may have made a mistake by selecting that whole table. I'm going to break out of it, which is your first hotkey, Control C. That will break out of it. And on a Mac, it is Command C. All right. So I'm just curious how many records there are. So I'm going to write a command. Don't worry about what it means for now, but I want to see how many records there are. So there are, oh, I was already done right at the end there. Is that right? Oh, no, I hadn't finished. I was there at 1900. So we had another 3,000 records to scroll through. So that's fine. Ignore all that. I just wanted to show you that first command. Now, here's the next hotkey. So your first hotkey was Control C. When you're running a long query like that, it'll break you out of that. Okay? It'll break the query. Or if something goofs up on your command line, you need to sort of reset the prompt. I'll show you that in a minute. Control C will get you out of that. Now, what if I wanted to rerun that query that I just typed a minute ago? Select star from city. Right? If I hit my up arrow key, it will show me the last query that I wrote. If I hit my up arrow key again, it'll show me the previous one. And I can keep up arrowing and it'll show every command I've written since I logged in. And the down arrow to go back through the list there. Okay, so I want to, let's say, run this select star from city again, this really long one. I'm running it and I'm realizing, oh, that's too long. Maybe I want to shorten my query up or something like that. So I want to break out of that and I'm going to hit Control C. All right, Control C broke it. Query aborted, right? So the arrow keys, very useful. Now, also, we're going to add to this query. So if I hit the up arrow, select star from city, I want to add something to it. Okay, I want to say, and again, don't worry about what this query means for now. Later we'll learn all that stuff. But I hit my backspace there. I'm going to put space where, and whatever this field is called, I have no idea. Let's see. This field is called country code. Okay, so where country code is equal to PHL. I just want to show only those files, right? So select star from city where country code is PHL. The real thing I wanted to point out is to finish writing that query there, I didn't have to type the whole thing from scratch. I hit the up arrow, and when I hit the up arrow, it showed this previous query right here that I wrote. I just deleted the semicolon and then added the rest of the query that I wanted to add right here. Okay. Now, don't forget your semicolon. Hit enter. And now it's just showing stuff that has PHL as the country code. Again, this is not me teaching you what the where clause means, the where part of that query means. This is just me showing you the command line and how you can navigate things. Now, I can just say up arrow again, and maybe I want to change it to, I'm going to assume that the country code for the United States is USA. So I'm going to use my arrow key, my left arrow, and then I get right there on those quotes. I hit backspace a couple times, USA, and then I hit enter, and now it's showing me all the cities in the United States, right? So just using that up arrow key allows me some very easy navigation where I don't have to retype things. Now, look at, there's another option here. When you type the command in, so again, I'm going to say select star from city. Actually, let's look at a different one. Show tables. And we'll go select star from country, right? And well, that is messy. Okay, we're going to break out of that. And I'm going to just look at a few fields here. Okay, again, I'm not teaching you commands or queries right now. I'm just showing you how to navigate the command line. So I just want to select name and population. Let's just do that. Okay, that's all I want to type. So here we go. I want to select name, population from country. I think that was the name of the table. There we go. So that's showing the name of the population, all right? Now, that query I just wrote, if I hit the up arrow, I can run it again. I don't have to write it all on one line. You'll find that sometimes your queries can be very lengthy, all right? And so let's just quickly say where population is greater than, let's say less than 15,000. So that's all the small countries in the world, okay? Now, again, don't worry about what that query means, how to write it. Don't worry about trying to understand it. What I want to show you is how the command line works. I keep saying that over and over again, but I'm going to keep saying it, okay? So what if I did this? Select name, and then I hit comma, and then I hit enter. That's okay, right? My command is not done typing until I hit a semicolon. Once I hit the semicolon, then MySQL will try to run it. So I type select name, and now I want to say population, and then I'm going to hit enter again, from country, and then I'm going to hit enter again, where population is greater than, let's go less than 15,000 again, okay? And then if I hit enter again, it doesn't run because I haven't typed my semicolon. Now I can hit my semicolon, now it'll run just fine, okay? So when you're writing really long queries, this is very useful to be able to hit enter in between to make it a little bit more readable. Now, there are some catches and some gotchas here. For one, if I use my up arrow trick, what's it going to do? It's going to show the last thing I typed, which is semicolon. Up arrow again shows me the previous line, previous line, previous line, and so forth. So if I wanted to rerun that query, it's kind of a pain. I have to type the up arrow a few times, hit select name, then I can hit the up arrow again, and I get population. That was a down arrow actually, and then the down arrow again, and the enter, down arrow, and that's a little bit of a pain to do that, okay? So it is a little tricky to navigate the command line when you're doing it on multiple lines. Now, having said all of that, there are plenty of times in the real world when you're on a real server and all you've got is the command line. So you have to know how to do that. That's a real world thing. However, let's take advantage of the tools we have. We are on a computer that has graphical interfaces and graphical tools, and we can take advantage of that. So if you have something like Notepad or Atom or Sublime Text or Notepad++ or I think it's called Text, I think it's just called Text on a Mac, just a text editor basically, right? So I'm going to open up Notepad here, hitting my window key and then typing Notepad and open that up. And I can actually type a query right here, right? I could say select star from country where population, oh, I don't want to do star, but we'll fix that. Population is less than 15,000. And then I can say, what were the fields here? It wasn't country, it was name and population. Right? I can just do that, put my semicolon there, copy it, which on a Mac is Command A for selecting everything, or Control A, and then Command C or Control C on a PC. Now I've copied it, come over here and just paste it and hit enter, and it'll run that query. So it can be very useful to use something like this because I can type the whole query, look at it, make sure I didn't make a mistake, and then paste it into the command line. Okay. So that's the basics of getting around the command line. There are a few other tips and tricks we'll see along the way, but just for now, I want to give you kind of a feel for it. There's one last thing I want to show you. Sometimes you'll do something like this where you'll say select star from country, and you'll hit enter. Maybe you forgot the semicolon and it didn't work, and you're like, hey, what's wrong? Why didn't that work? And you don't realize that you're still in the same command, so you try it again or something like that. Select star from country, and I hit semicolon. That second line looks like it's good, but the problem is what that really is saying is this. It's really saying select star from country, select star from country. That's what is really going on there. You just have a line break between them like that, but what's really happening, what MySQL is really trying to run is that, right? So you're going to get an error now, and now you get an error, right? So sometimes when you get that error, you'll end up not with a MySQL prompt like that, but you'll end up with this prompt right here, this little weird arrow thing, right? You'll end up with that thing right there. Well, when that happens and you realize, oh no, I need to start over, I need to do my query again, hit Control C, and now you're back to this, right? Or a Command C on a Mac, right? But now you're back to this kind of a prompt, and you can type the query that you need. So if things ever start looking wonky, or I mean, even when I typed that little AFS there, maybe I accidentally bumped the key and hit enter, you end up in a situation like this, and you may not even realize you're there, and you go to try to start your query, right? And your query is fine, but the truth is what you're really telling SQL to do is run this, right? You're telling SQL to do that. Well, that doesn't make any sense to SQL, so it gives you an error. And you might not know, why did I get that error? You may be confused about it. Well, it's because you accidentally had this little arrow there. So again, if something like that ever happens, before you type your query, just Control C to break out of there, and you're good to go. When you're done running queries for the day, just type exit, and you want to terminate batch job. That doesn't always come up, but when it does, just say yes, and you're done. So that's it for this one, guys. Moving forward, pretty much the rest of the videos are going to be about learning the commands and how they work, what they mean, and how to write them.